Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is your boy Manny here once again. Welcome back to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineup advice for the NFL, NBA, WNBA, and MLB. And before I continue, like always, guys, I'd appreciate you drop a like on the video. And if you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet, please do so down below. And do not forget to turn on your notifications. This way, you will not miss any of my new uploads. With that being said, today is Friday, June the 1st, 2018. We have a 3-game slate in the WNBA for tonight. We are now in like 4 or 5 games on average for most teams. I think there's 1 or 2 teams that have only played 3 games. So this is when I start looking at a little bit at the statistical team stats as well as player individual stats. You get more of a feel right now at this point in time. Maybe even after a few more games, you'll be even more prepared to understand what the rotations are like for these teams, because we do have in the last game or two, we've had the players that were playing in the EuroLeague. They have come back, so there's a number of players that were in Europe and now they're back with their respective WNBA teams, so you have to be on the lookout for that. I would say another week or more or so, or maybe another slew of games, maybe about 4 or 5 more games, you'll be definitely we'll have a good gauge on rotations. But right now at this point in time, I already start analyzing the team statistics just to get more of a feel of what the matchups look like as far as teams are concerned. So today's matchup, Phoenix and Minnesota. I mean, we have a couple of things here. Obviously, Minnesota's been struggling to start the year. They are the reigning champs, but they're only averaging 76 points per game, which is almost near last in the league right now, while Phoenix is in the top 5 at 81 points per game. Other areas that are very critical in this matchup here is that Minnesota, rebounding-wise, has a big advantage. They're number 1 in the league. They rebound, 40 rebounds per game at the moment to start the young season. Even though they have been a little erratic overall, their rebounding has been fantastic, and that's due to Foles and Maya Moore and of course Brunson. They're top rebounding. All 3 of them are good rebounders, so they got 3 great rebounders, while Phoenix is really struggling. They're only averaging 26 rebounds per game right now, so this is definitely going to be a tough matchup for Phoenix up front. Brittany Griner has had a rough go to start the year. She is a top rebounder in this league, but she hasn't really had that easy of a time this year, simply because she has faced a lot of monsters. First 4 games she had to deal with Stewart, she had to deal with the Washington Del Don, and she it's just she's facing all the better centers, the better big men in the league, and she hasn't been rebounding at that 7-8 on average like she had posted last season. So and it's gonna, today she's gonna be in a tough spot again, dealing with one of the top rebounders in the league in Foles, and then of course Maya Moore is a good rebounder as well, and Rebecca Brunson. So definitely not a good matchup for Griner here. But we're gonna look over the guards in this particular game. I'm gonna let you know a little bit about which ones I think you should target. Obviously at the top here at 6,200 is Dawana Bonner. She is averaging 34, as you can see here. At 6'2", you need about 31, to cover that price. She can get you there. Let's go over to the cruncher, and she's right here. She put up a 42 spot in the last game in 32 minutes, 25% usage rate, 9 of 14, 3 of 7 from 3, which is really, I mean, she definitely shoots threes, but she's not known to be a top 3-point shooter. But she made 3 out of the 7 in the last game. Didn't rebound well at all in that game, but she did have 4 assists. She did have 2 steals and a block, so she definitely did some good defense. And what she did very well is that she did not get herself in foul trouble, which she was pretty much involved in the previous 2 games before that. So 25 points, good game for her. I just, again today, she definitely has the best matchup between the guards today. Her and Taurasi should do well against Whalen. The only thing is Miss Augustus is a fairly good defender. I like her in this actual game, in this matchup. I prefer her over Dawana at the moment, especially because of the price. I mean, Dawana is 6,200. Miss Augustus is only 4,100, so I'll be saving 2,100, and I'll probably be getting almost the same amount of projected points from her, as Augustus is projected to have 21 and Dawana 25.5. So I kind of like that matchup a little bit better with Augustus there. Save some money, put it somewhere else. But Dawana is in play, guys. She definitely is in play. I don't have, as you can see, a thumbs up on her. She has 50-point upside. That's the one thing. You know, I'm gonna put a little thumbs up there. She's not my favorite play here, but you definitely someone you should consider. Diana Taurasi is definitely another one in play. I mean, Diana is shooting the ball fairly well, especially from three. She don't shoot a ton of threes, but she's been very consistent with the threes. She had a bad game in the last one, but as you can see, 2 of 4, 4 of 8, 2 of 5, and 5 of 8. She's actually shooting, looking at the statistics last night, she's shooting almost at 42% from 3. So she is hitting the 3 pretty consistent. That number is pretty good. She's at 5,800. You need about 27 from her. She's averaging 22, I believe, right now. Yes, she is. She's averaging 22.6. I like her there. I like her definitely a lot more than I like Ms. Whalen. I'm not too fond of the Minnesota guards, other than Augustus. This young lady here, Danielle Robinson, is not too bad either. At 3,400, I'll look at her in a moment. But definitely here, Taurasi, Bonner, definitely in play. Like Taurasi a little bit better because of the price. Definitely love Augustus here at that price. I think she's going to be a 20-plus play here today. So she'll definitely cover that 41. At 41, you need 20 from her, and she's averaging 17 right now. I think she can get there. I really do. This is a good matchup for her. Because she's a good defender, and she's definitely a good passer. She's definitely one of the top assist girls already to start the year. Brianne January, she's also shooting the ball fairly well from 3 also. Looking at her last night. Where is she? Let me get her here. Sorry, guys. January. She only put 9 and 19 in the last 2 games, 25 minutes in the last game, 23% usage rate. She hit 3 of 5 from 3. As you can see, 3 of 5, 2 of 3, 1 of 2, 2 and 2. With fantasy points, you definitely want, with these girls, especially in the WNBA, that a lot of them do like to shoot the 3. You definitely want to get the most effective one. She's shooting at a 64% clip right now from 3-point range. She's in the top 15, top 20 in the league right now to start the year. I mean, she's actually in the top 10 at the moment. So Brianne January is definitely in play. 4,300. You need 21, and like I said, you got it. She's averaging 17. So I like her. We move on. Who else we have here? That's about it. I will not be on anybody else. Danielle Robinson, possible play. I'm not on her today. I really like Augustus, and I think Taurasi or Bonner, if you wanted to pay off for Bonner in this particular game, you could definitely go with Bonner. The strongest point for Phoenix in this game is going to probably be their guards over the Minnesota guards. While we go to the forwards now, I like the Minnesota forwards more. All right, so you got Foles. She's a top dog. We know she's a top point scorer. She's a rebounder. She's a blocker. She has 45 point upside. All right, she could definitely get you 50 plus, if anything. She's facing a 7th-ranked defense. Phoenix is definitely struggling there, and it's going to be a tough task for Brittany Griner. Tough task. She has to deal with her and Maya Moore. And Moore is right there, not too far away as far as projections today. She's projected to put 25, and her price is at 7,000, so you need 35 from her. And I think she's going to get there. Foles definitely here, good spot against Phoenix. Like I said before, she's at 8-1, so you need 40 from her, and she's averaging 39, I believe. Yeah, 39.2. So I like Sylvia Foles here very much. Definitely over Griner. For $100 more, I'd rather take Foles. And I'll be honest with you, I'd rather take Foles and more in this matchup and totally just fade out Griner. Griner's been having trouble with rebounding against the top rebounders, and she's going to have a tough go here again today. And, you never know. This is why you play the games. She may go out today and get 10, 12 rebounds. I don't think she will, but, I mean, she can. She's capable of it. But she's definitely having a tough time getting under the boards with the bigger girls. So Foles and Moore is definitely a better play here than Griner in this particular game between Phoenix and Minnesota. Rebecca Brunson is a top rebounder as well. Pretty much that's her specialty. So at 5,300, you need 25, 26 maybe. You need about 26 from Ms. Brunson, and she's averaging 22.7. I like her. I like Moore and Foles more in this game than I would go with Griner or Brunson. Sancho Little, 4,800. Miss Little, you're gonna need about 24 from her, and she's averaging 21. See what she did in the last game. 23 minutes, 7-7, 4-1-1. This is what I like about her. She's able to do a couple of things. She passes the ball. She didn't have too much here, but in the last game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 26 fantasy points in 23 minutes. Totally love that. That's more than 1 fantasy point per minute. And the same thing she did with the Spark, 27, 25, 1, 1, and 2, with just 1 turnover, 35.5 fantasy points. And that's against 2 pretty decent teams up front. She's going to have to do the same thing again today. And she's going to have to battle because she's going to have to deal with Moore and Foles to give some help to Griner. I just think the matchup is more in favor of Moore and Foles to me. But if I was going to choose anybody in this lower half tier as far as price, she's definitely a nice price at 4,800. I think she can definitely get you 25 in this game. Angel Robinson, 3,200. You got to need about 16 or so from her. She's averaging close to 11. I'm not on her in this matchup. I definitely like Sancho better, and I don't really see anybody else here in this game that I would favor. But again, in this game, Foles, Moore, hands down. And then if you want a lower value play at this mid-tier level, definitely like Miss Little at 4,800. And I wouldn't say fade Brunson, but I mean I'd rather pay up and get more. I think Moore is going to definitely put 25 to 30 or more up. I'd rather have her. All right, so that's pretty much it with Foles, Moore, value play in this particular matchup, Little for Phoenix. We go to Connecticut versus Chicago. Connecticut is, statistic-wise, they are doing a lot of things good right now. They're first in points. They're first in field goal percentage at 52%. They're first in three-point percentage at 45%. They're also first in assists with 24 assists per game. And then you got the only really good side to Chicago is they get to the foul line. They're shooting 81% from there as opposed to Connecticut's 76%. They're third in the league in that, but Chicago is struggling in other areas. They're not too bad in rebounding. They're actually second in the league with 38 rebounds per game. So that's where you definitely, you got Dolson, you got Parker there. Even the young girls, the Shields and Quigley, they all are rebounding and helping out up front. We'll break down this game a little bit more. At the guard spot, we got Courtney Vandersloot back. She's back from the EuroLeague. She's one of their top guards. We know that, we know that she is the top passing guard. She definitely does. She's a very good passer, get a lot of assists. She also is a pretty decent three-point shooter. So I mean, they definitely going to get that back in offense, which they really need. She's also in last year. At least she was in the top 25 in scoring. So I mean, she's not a bad ball player. They definitely needed her, and now she's back. So we'll see how that works out with Courtney. But Courtney Vandersloot is in play. Allie Quigley is also in play. Again, Vandersloot 7,100. You need about 35 from her to start things off. So that's pretty rough for her to come in and hopefully get her to get 35. I don't see no reason why not, because she is definitely in shape. She was playing in the EuroLeague, so she's ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised. But she is facing one of the top teams in the league in the Connecticut Sun. So we'll see how that works out, because she's going to have to deal with Jasmine Jones and Miss Williams and Courtney Williams and so on. So it's not going to be that easy. But Vandersloot is in play. You need about 35 from her. Allie Quigley, 6,000. You need about 30 from her for that price. She is right now also shooting 52% from three-point range, so she's very efficient from there. She doesn't take a whole lot of threes, maybe about 3 a game, but when she does, she shoots the ball well. and she's actually converting at a good rate. She has 35 plus upside. She had a 29 spot in the last game against Seattle, which is a fairly good team. 29 minutes, 28% usage rate. There you go, 8 of 12, 2 of 3. As you can see, anywhere between 3 to 5 threes per game, and she's nailing them pretty much at two or three at it per game. So that's not too bad. Assist-wise, only 3. She's not getting a whole lot of rebounds. She's not known for that. Steals, 1 a game, pretty much. 22. She had a solid little game. She needs to get 30 today. This is not for today. This is not a bad game for her to get this done. Okay, she could get it done because Courtney and Jasmine are not the greatest defenders, but because they're more offensive guards. But it could be a tough matchup for them as far as getting the reboundings and so on and so forth, and considering that she is not a big rebounder. But Courtney Williams and Jasmine Jones, kind of like them a little bit better than Vandersloot and Quigley. I'm not going to say that they're not in play, but Courtney Williams, 5,300. I like the price. She's going to need 22, pretty much like 22 there, 26 maybe. Sorry about that. Yeah, 25, and about 26, 27. And she's averaging 24 right now. Let's take a look at her a little bit more closely over here. Courtney Williams, Jasmine Thomas. 23, 23. She's pretty steady. 26, 29, 22, 23 over her first 4 games. 25 minutes, 33% usage rate here in the last game. 3 of 10. Only shot 30% from the floor. Pretty much 25% from 3. Yeah, she struggled a little bit, but she had 3 steals, which is big. Don't like the turnovers. 4 assists. Didn't have a rebound at all. She's not known for that. Like I said, she's more of an offensive guard. 11 points. I like her. I like her in this matchup. I mean, they're facing Chicago is, as you can see, 11th overall right now defending against the guards. So that's why I like that tandem of Jasmine or Courtney. One of these two will go off today. I just don't know which one. Courtney Williams, a 27 and 29 spot in the last 2 games. That's very, very good. 23, 29 minutes. The usage rate is fantastic. 25 and 29 respectively. She's been consistent getting 11 shots per game. 5 of 11 in the last game. She's not a three-point shooter, but she can rebound. There goes the assists. There goes the steals. She gets about 1 steal a game pretty much. She's averaging about 2 turnovers per game, and 5 in the last 2 games. 5 assists and 6 assists. Not too bad. At 5,000, like I said, 5,300 for Courtney. You need again, you need about 20, 26, and she's averaging 24. I think you should get there. She's has 30 plus upside, so definitely someone in play. Another one that's in the good play in this game. Let me go back here. Diamond DeShields and Gabby Williams. They're the 2 rookies. DeShields, I think, was 3rd overall, and Gabby was 4th overall for Chicago. Gonna be interesting, with Courtney back. I don't know. I mean, I would think Diamond and Gabby are still gonna be a part of the rotation. Somebody's gonna take a little bit of a hit here as far as floor time, and it's not gonna be Allie Quigley. So I would figure with Courtney starting, Diamond DeShields and Gabby will be coming off the bench. Let's see. Diamond DeShields was averaging about she was averaging 20 plus minutes over the course of this season. She's been rarely effective. 27, 16, 18, and 31. Really like Diamond DeShields. I think she's definitely going to be a part of the rotation and early on. They may just work it out. They'll work it out where maybe Courtney will be on the floor with Diamond, or maybe Diamond more so with Allie. Maybe both Diamond and Gabby on the floor at the same time. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. She's definitely a nice play at 5,200. You need about 26 from her. Yeah, you need about 26 from her, and she's averaging 23 already, so that's not too bad. Like I said before, she was the 3rd overall pick. Faulkner has been back. Remember, she was out for the whole entire year last year with that leg injury, and she's back, and she is looking pretty darn good already to start. She had a pretty good game. 33 minutes, 14 points, 9 assists, man. She did have 4 big turnovers, but a 23.5 spot. She had also a 24 spot in game 2. I see her getting some time on the floor. It's it's tough for Chicago, man. They have talented guards with DeShields and Williams and Faulkner there. So I mean, but you got Allie Quigley, and you got who's a top 3-point shooter. She's shooting 52% right now to start the year from 3, and then you got Courtney, who's also a top three-point shooter from last season who could also score. So these girls are in play. This is going to be an interesting game here to see how well Chicago handles dealing with Connecticut's guards, not only with Connecticut's guards, but their forwards. Connecticut is a very, very good team at to start the year. So right now, at the moment, I would say the best plays here are I kind of like Diamond DeShields here at 5,200. Definitely love Jasmine Thomas here at 5,300, and Courtney Williams. I would not fade away from Vandersloot. She may be in prime shape, ready to go. You never know what's going to happen with her. Allie Quigley's in play. There's definitely 4 or 5 nice guards in this game that you could utilize for your 3 guards for today's slate. I like the guards here more than I like them in the other 2 games. All right, that I can definitely hands down tell you. So one of my strategies would be hey, you know what? The best guards are in this game. If this game stays a little bit competitive, which I don't think it might be. Connecticut is definitely one of the top scoring teams in the league, while Chicago has shown that they only could put up about 80. So you're looking at about 16 or 17 point difference from the averages at this point in time. So it's a little scary there. But if it's not a blowout and they can stay close enough, I could see where a Courtney Williams, a Williams and a Thomas, and as well as a DeShields at this value here, 52, 5,300, can get you the value you need. As opposed to the other games. We'll get to the other game in a moment, which is Washington at Vegas, which that one is definitely the one that may be the biggest blowout of the night. At forwards, very interesting here. I really, really love the Connecticut forwards. You cannot go wrong with Alyssa Thomas. She's one of the top scorers in the league. She can also assist. She can pass. She rebounds. She gets a lot of steals. I mean, she has 45-point upside. She's averaging 40 right now. And then at 8-1, you really need about 40, 41 from her, so she's priced about right. She's in a good matchup here. She's facing a team which they don't really have, a dominant big person. They're really going to have, they're going to have a tough go here. They're going to have to deal. You're talking about Chicago's going to have to deal with Thomas and Guake. That's a tough task. It's a tough task. On top of Jonquel Jones, which is a top rebounder as well. So I like the front court here in this game, in this matchup here. Love the guards for value, but forwards here between this game and Minnesota with their front court. I mean, you're gonna have to grab 2, probably from here and 2 from this game, in my opinion. And if you want value, you can definitely get value here. There's a lot of good plays here today. I think a lot of good men. A lot of big size girls today. Alyssa Thomas, so let's just stay right here. Let me not lose track. We got Alyssa Thomas again. Then we got Jonquel Jones. She's definitely in play. 6,300. She's about $1,400 cheaper than Thomas, but she's averaging about 16 fantasy points less, as you can see at 24. We look here at Jonquel. She has had a 17, 27, and 28. Definitely in the red a little bit in the last few games. She only played 15 minutes in the last game against Indiana. That was a little bit of a spread there for a little while there. She didn't shoot a whole lot in that game. Very surprising, only 6 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds for them defensively. I don't know. Obviously I'm looking at 6,300 for her. She's definitely in play. But if you're looking at this list here, I definitely would love more Maya Moore here than I would like Jonquel Jones. And then when you're looking at the same game against opposition, with own teammates, Agumake is definitely a better play. As you can see here, they're projecting her to put up 29. All right, and she's 6,100. She's 6,100. You'll save yourself $200 by getting Agumake. So there goes Agumake right here. She is at 6'1". That's 30 points. You need about 30, and she's averaging 23 at the moment. Let me just clear this up. Sorry. Nope. My mistake. So Agumake, like I said, I got a thumbs up on her. 24 and a 31 in the last 2 games, 26, 31 minutes respectively. She's averaging about 25% usage rate. 9 to 12 shots in the last 2 games from the floor. 8 rebounds, 5 here in the second game. 3, 1 assist, 1. She's okay. 6,100, like I said, they're projecting her to be higher than Maya Moore. Something tells me Maya Moore is just in a better spot. Even though she's facing a 10th ranked team, she could possibly ball out today and get 30 plus. I like Maya Moore more than I like Agumake here. But she's in play as well. She's in play. So something to think about there. Stephanie Dolson in this matchup, I think she's going to be a little bit over her head. To be honest with you, you need 5,400. You need 27 from her, and she's averaging 22. I just don't see the matchup here is just so dominant here. The front court of Connecticut should definitely terrorize and destroy the front court of Chicago. If Chicago has any chance here, they're gonna have it because of these girls right here: Vandersloot, Quigley, Diamond DeShields, Faulkner, and Gabby Williams. Those girls, they might have to go with even a smaller lineup just to slash and dash and try to beat these guys. So it's not going to be that easy. It's definitely a difficult task. But this is where this game may be a little balanced out and may be a little competitive for a little while. If those guards of Chicago perform well against the guards of Connecticut, even if these guys outshine the Chicago front court, you know, it might be an interesting game for a little while. All right, so Stephanie Dolson, I'm not on her. I'm not on Cheyenne Parker. They are in play. Cheyenne Parker is at 4,500, so you need from her, you need about 21, 22 from her, and she's averaging that right now, 21, 22. So she's priced about right for her price for tonight. If you want Parker, I just say here you got to stay in the front court. If you're gonna pay up in the forward spot today, you definitely got to go with some of these big girls. Get one or two of them, then get one good value play or two good value plays at the bottom. All right, that's pretty much it, man, for this game. I don't see anybody else here that I really like in the forward spot. We go to the Washington, Las Vegas, Nevada Aces, and man, we go to the guard spot. Kayla McBride. She's been back. She's obviously has played pretty darn well. She's shooting 44% from three-point range, so she's definitely in the top tier there at the moment. Just after, like, I think 2 games. Let's see here. Yeah, 2 games, 36 minutes and 22 minutes, 7-1 and 1. Only 11 points in the last game. I mean, she definitely needs to bounce back. But as you can see here in this particular game, look at the guards, man. I mean, we're talking about 5,500 and down. I mean, this is just value here. This is just a value play here. If you're going to choose anybody from this slate here, I would definitely will love myself a little Ariel Atkins, a Lindsay Allen, or Christy Tolliver. I'm more on those girls, and maybe a little Tamara Young. Kayla McBride, she should do well here in this game. I mean, she has nobody to match up with her other than Christy Tolliver. Tolliver is shooting the ball even more better than her, 47% from three-point range, and then they faced each other already. Tolliver had a 15 spot the first time around. Let's see, McBride didn't play against them. She wasn't in for that first game, but Tamara Young did. She scored a 23 spot against Washington the first time out. So she definitely had a good game. And Lindsay Allen, she put up a 25 spot. So they hung in there. Allen and Young had a good game the first time out against Washington in Washington. Christy Tolliver had the weaker game, but she has bounced back since then. Tolliver has played well in the last 2 games or so. Look at that. Actually, she played Vegas all the way over here. Played 35 minutes, only put up 15 spot. But look what she's done since then. 21, 29, 28, 39. That's my girl. Christy Tolliver, man. 30 points in the last game. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. She did have 5 big turnovers. That's a no-no. And she is turnover prone because she's kind of like an electric type of girl. She likes to slash and dash, and then she's running and moving. She likes trying to make really, really quick passes, and sometimes she gets very, very careless, a la LeBron James. So something like that. But Ariel Atkins. Okay, Lindsay Allen, sorry. So I'm getting myself out of a way here. Lindsay Allen is in play at 4,600, and Allen put up, like I said, a 25 against Washington in the first meeting. At 4,600, you need about 23, and she's averaging 19 at the moment. She did only have a 17-minute game against Seattle in the back-to-back. 23 in the first game against Seattle. Obviously, she's played already 4 games against talented teams. All right, against talented teams. So Today, she's in a good spot. Lindsay Allen. Let's go here, guard. I got Lindsay all the way down here. 16, 23, like I say, yep. 29, almost a 30% usage rate in that 17 minutes. Wasn't her best performance. I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not high on her today. Obviously, as you can see, I don't have a thumbs up around her. Definitely like the other young lady, the #1 pick here, Ariel. Ariel Atkins is in play. She's a rookie, 7th overall. All right. 29, 20, 27. For the last 3 games, she's putting 20-plus minutes, and she's been averaging in the last 2 games 18 and 21, getting 28 and 22 spots respectively. She did have 4 big turnovers in the last game, but I like her. She is also starting off the year off pretty good from 3. She's at 46% from 3-point range. So Ariel Atkins at 4,100. You need 20 from her, and she's averaging 19 already. So she's doing okay. I think she'll definitely get a 20 spot or better today in this matchup against Vegas. The only drawback about this game today is the factor is that it could be a blowout. Washington is a much more superior team. Okay. Washington is shooting their second best in 3-pointers at 42%. Their field goal percentage, they're 4th in the league so far to start the year at 47%. So something to be concerned with. Where Vegas is okay at is rebounding, 34 as opposed to Washington's 33 per game. So they match up well there. They're 4th in the league in rebounding. So Vegas, and that's all due to the big men, which we're going to get to now. So in this game here, definitely McBride, Young, Tolliver, Allen, and Atkins. Those 5 are in play. As you can see, Natasha Cloud is not in, she's battling kidney stones. So she's definitely out for a little while, indefinitely for a while. So this is where, you could definitely see yourself using even Ruffin Pratt is going to probably get more time, and Ariel Atkins. That's why I think Atkins had the 20-somewhat minutes in the last game. So I like Ariel today, definitely at 4,100 with no Cloud. All right, so definitely consider her there. When we come here, we're still Della Dawn. We still don't know what's the deal with her. Definitely stay on top of the news because WNBA, they give you the stuff at the last minute, like an hour before the game. You hear that Della Dawn is either in or out. So she's in play if she plays. I just don't, if she doesn't play, man, I mean, this is definitely a great matchup for A'ja Wilson. I really, really like her here in this play. She's the #1 draft pick in the whole entire draft this past year, and she is playing like a #1 draft pick. You're looking at her at 7,006. You need 37, and she's averaging 35 right now. A'ja Wilson, 37, and she's averaging 35. Where is she at? Right down here. I got 3 thumbs ups on her. She did have a little bit of a blue spot here, 26.6 in the last game against Seattle, and that's okay. You were battling Breanna Stewart. It's a tough matchup. Even though she put up a 41 spot in their first meeting, she definitely had a dud in the last game. But 8 of 12, very efficient from the floor. Okay, she just didn't get the rebounding that she did in the previous game. She definitely needs to do that. She definitely needs to rebound. If she rebounds, they put her up. But the first time they played each other earlier in the year, she put a 38, as you can see here. She put a 38 spot in the first matchup. All right, and I think that was with Della Dawn in there. So with no Della Dawn, you could just figure her to have even a more explosive game. I really like her here in this matchup, especially if Elena is not playing. If Elena is not playing, you definitely should consider A'ja Wilson. Nia Coffey, she's 4,700. You need about 23, and she's averaging almost 20 at 19.9. She did score. I have here she scored 20. Where is she? Let me find her. Miss Coffey. Yes, against Washington. She did score a 21 spot against them in their first meeting in 32 minutes. 6 of 12 from the floor. 2 of 5 on the free throw line, which is poor. 3 turnovers. She averages 3 turnovers a game, which is not good. 2 blocks, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm not high on her in this matchup. But, she's in play. She's in play. I definitely like Tiana Hawkins more at $4,400 and $300 cheaper. She didn't have an enormously uh, she had an enormously big game the last game out against Phoenix. 33 minutes, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have 4 big turnovers, 27.9 fantasy points. She had a 28 spot prior to that against Seattle. Tiana Hawkins, especially with no Delle Donne, she gets an uptick. She's going to get more floor time. Same thing with Hines Allen. She's going to definitely spell relief there as well. So her minutes will go up as well. So, I mean, you definitely have some value there if Delle Donne doesn't play. You can go with Aja Wilson and hope that she keeps Vegas close with Nia Coffey, or you can just go all the way down and pay 44 or 3,800 and get yourself some massive value from Miss Hawkins or Hines Allen, who will get definitely more time on the floor and obviously more touches and possibly more fantasy points, which that's what we look for. We go down the list. We got Carolyn Swords. Not one of my favorite plays today. She hasn't played massive minutes, so she's definitely not on my radar. I'm not on Latoya Sanders. Crystal Thomas, she's been starting, but she is just not getting it done. You know, I mean, 26 minutes in the last game, got 18. That was her best performance yet. She did play 11, 10, 13, 13, so she got the more minutes. She did play a little bit better in the last game against Phoenix. We'll see. She's facing Vegas. Vegas is not that bad of a rebounding team, like I mentioned before. So, and that's all due to Aja Wilson and Nia Coffey. So, we'll see how that works out for Crystal Thomas. But I mean, I think the best play here is Hawkins for sure. If there's no Delle Donne, and putting Wilson up against Hawkins and Hines Allen, I think that's not a bad play either at 7,600. But you could save 2,200 by going with Hawkins. I mean, that is pretty darn good. So, I mean, let me go back here to the cruncher. I'm going to basically tell you really what I think are the best plays. Just try to give you a little bit of insight in some of the girls. At guard, I think the very, very, very best play here for me, I definitely like the Thomas and Williams girls for Connecticut against Chicago. I think that's a great matchup for them. I like Augustus against Minnesota here at 4,100. I think she is definitely at a nice price there. So she's definitely a fine play. I like Diamond DeShields and or Gabby Williams or Atkins, the young rookies. Any one of these three for a value play is not too bad. With Ariel Atkins being my favorite, I think she's going to get more time on the floor. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Down here, getting a little lower, Strickland is in play. Just don't see how much time she's going to get on the floor. Same thing with Faulkner, even though she's looked good. It'll vary, man. If the Connecticut starts blowing this game out, then you could see Faulkner getting more time. You know, if Connecticut definitely beats these guys up, I can see where Faulkner will get more time on the floor. But other than that, I just don't see how she'll get on there. Strickland, yeah, you know, I mean, that's the only way Chicago is going to definitely. I can see Gabby Williams and Faulkner getting more time. Diamond DeShields will probably be playing enough minutes with Quigley and Vandersloot. I think Gabby Williams is getting Faulkner will get a little bit more of a less minutes reduction here. But they'll get more, especially if this game gets out of control, because it's possible that Connecticut could blow out Chicago. I think the most interesting game tonight is Minnesota, how well they play, as badly as they have been playing, how well they can hang in there with the Mercury. I think that's the game of the night, because this has blowout potential, Washington at Vegas, and then the Connecticut-Chicago game has blowout possibilities as well. We go back to the cruncher again. Mid-tier play, the best play in the mid-tier, like I said, Augustus I definitely like DeShields. I definitely love Atkins here in this matchup, in this game. She's someone you can definitely consider. Tamara Young, I have a thumbs up here, 5,000. You need 25 from her. She's only projected to put up 13, so we'll see. But I think definitely the best play is Ariel Atkins at 4,100 if you want to go cheap. And even Ruffin Pratt here for Washington might be a very sneaky play here at 3,700. Lindsey Allen also at 4,600. I mean, it's so tough. There's a lot of good plays here today at guard, but I think the best play for me, I really have 3 thumbs up. I love the way Christy Tolliver is playing. She's only 5,000. She's projected to put 24, and at that price you need 25. I think she's going to get that. I really like her here, Tolliver, and I definitely like the Thomas and Williams girls and Augustus. Those are the best plays for me. At forward, love Alyssa Thomas here. She's in a great matchup. I mean, it could be a blowout situation here, so you got to watch out for that. Foles is in a definitely good matchup here. She's going to deal with Brittany Griner, but with her and teammate Maya Moore, it's going to be very, very tough for the Phoenix front court. All right. Go down a little lower. I love Aja Wilson here. If Aja Wilson at 7,600, I really like her here in this matchup against Washington, especially if Elena Delle Donne does not play. Okay, very important. If Delle Donne does not play, Aja Wilson should have a nice game here. Should definitely be able to put more than 20, 25 easy in this game. So definitely like her here. Other than her, going down to the bottom here, you know, you got to watch out with Hines Allen. Again, remember, Delle Donne might be out. She may get an uptake in minutes. So you got to look at her, and you got to definitely consider Tiana Hawkins. So I like Hawkins better. Watch out for Hines Allen. If you want to save some money, go to 3,800. You can do Hines Allen. You'll save yourself $600 there. Another little sneaky play here, Sancho Little. Don't sleep on her on this game. I don't have a thumbs up on her, but don't sleep on her. Best play is Thomas. Other than Thomas, love Aja Wilson. Other than Aja Wilson, love Tiana Hawkins as a value play at 4,400, especially if Delle Donne is out. Delle Donne is in play. If she plays, I just think that the matchup is going to be an interesting one with the young kid. I would like to see that. And we already seen that Aja already had put up a 38 with her on the floor. So, I mean, Aja Wilson definitely will be able to compete with her. I'm really surprised that I have her here with about 23 projected points when she put up 38 the first time around with Delle Donne on the court. So, yeah, I love her there. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's what I'm looking at for today's slate. I got to make my lineups. But again, I mean, you know, I think the game of the night is Phoenix and Minnesota. The games that have the most potential for blowout is Connecticut and Chicago and Washington and Las Vegas. My opinion, some strategy moves you can make here is definitely figure out you have here in the Connecticut-Chicago game, definitely the Connecticut guards going up against the Chicago guards is going to be an interesting matchup. This is what can keep this game close for Chicago if their guards perform better than Connecticut's guards, because the front court is definitely Connecticut up front is just, you know, massively too strong. All right, so you got to watch out for the blowout. Strategic wise, I would probably grab one of these girls only, and you'll hopefully pick the right one that really balls out, because if it becomes a blowout, they might not be on the court for the entire 40 minutes, you know, or you know, the average of 25 to 30 minutes. They may just be on the court 20 minutes. So that's the only drawback if you take one of those girls in the Washington-Vegas game. Same thing here. If this game could stay close, Aja Wilson should definitely crush, you know, value easily, and I like Hawkins battling against her, you know, taking up that extra time on the floor. I think that's a great play at 4,400. Phoenix and Minnesota, same thing here. I love the front court of Minnesota, but the back court of Phoenix is not too bad. Well, you got Bonner, Taurasi, and Brianne January. With January and Taurasi, good three-point shooters. All right. So, I mean, very interesting game. This game, I think, is the one that's going to be the closest. The other two games are possible blowouts. You could also stack some players. The best game stack would be this one, in my opinion. If you wanted to load up 5 players from this game, I think this is a good game to do that with. Stacking 2 players or more, or 2 players from one team. Definitely, this is not a bad game to do that with. Also, you can stack Bonner with Taurasi and find the other guard in one of the other 2 games. You could always go with Augustus here with one of the guys, with one of the other girls from the opposing team. Over here, same thing. You can go with Quigley and Vandersloot here as a stack, or Williams and Thomas. You can do a stack over here with the guards with McBride and Young, or with Tolliver and Ariel Atkins, you know, if you wanted to stack up 2 teammates. Same thing with the forwards. I'm not too high on stacking here, but if I am going to stack somebody, I wouldn't mind stacking Hawkins with Hines, or just using Hawkins with Wilson, one of each. So you could go that route. In the Connecticut game, I mean, this is a scary one because I think these guys are just going to dominate here, this front court. But here, I will probably, me in my opinion, just looking at it right now, I will probably just choose Thomas and hope that she's in the game long enough to give me value, and then just not pick any more forwards from this game at all. My other three forwards are going to come out of the other two games. That's what I would recommend. And then over here, Phoenix, Minnesota. Definitely like these big men. Foles and Moore is a definitely nice stack. You can also stack Griner and hope that she does well with Sancho Little. That would not be a bad stack against these guys. So you can go that route too. And when it comes to the guards in this game, yeah, I think I already mentioned it, Bonner, Taurasi. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, you can use those strategies. Stack up one game, 5 players, maybe even 6, or do team stacks in the games, and then of course also look at games that are possible. Be careful with the games that are possible blowout potential, which are Connecticut, Chicago, Washington, Las Vegas. That's pretty much it, man. So I mean, good luck tonight. Make those lineups, make some money, and I'll be back tomorrow with tomorrow's video for tomorrow's slate. All right. God bless everybody. Your boy Manny is out.